Hi, good morning, agents. This is Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing here. And today we're going to go over the CRM, specifically just the drip campaigns in the new Elevate system. So this will be a great, I know we went through a massive overview of the product about 3 weeks ago with Rebecca. It was a little bit, much. So today we're just, as last week, we're just going to kind of take little bits of the Elevate system apart and just so we can have little digestible bits. So before we get into today's presentation, I'm going to bring Debbie Saccone from REalty Mortgage on the line. Good morning, Debbie. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm fantastic. I hope you guys all are too. I'm not going to be long today, but every time we have a little instance, or I hear about something that is an issue for, some of the realtors out there, I like to address it for you guys too, because the last thing you want as a realtor is to have a transaction go into escrow and then a week or two later find out that that lender cannot follow through with the loan, and now you have to either scramble or decide what to do. What made it not work? There's two things that come to mind. First of all, sometimes that happens when let's say in major banks, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, the initial person that a client buyer will go to is just someone that probably calls themselves a loan officer or a loan something. And they start, telling them their situation. Here's the money that I have down. Here's this, here's that. They run credit. Here's my credit score. It's great. But then not even 1 week into the transaction, sometimes 2 weeks into the transaction, they'll find out that Bank of America can't do the loan. And we talked about overlays before. Excuse me, I don't know why I have a froggy voice this morning. So they find out that, that lender has an overlay or an added guideline that is completely outside of what Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac allow. And for example, a debt to income ratio of 49%, totally acceptable on the DU that we ran, but B of A decides 2 weeks later to decline the loan because they exceed the 45% debt to income limitation that they have, which was like an overlay or an added guideline that they've made on that loan. Well, first of all, we, our seasoned loan officers at Clearview Mortgage, we know what the guidelines are. We would have known if that lender has a threshold of 45% debt to income ratio or not. So I think some of these people with, other lenders, other direct lenders, the first person they talk to at a major bank, they don't really, they're not seasoned. They don't know all the guidelines. They haven't been through enough of, loan life to know, well, let's check this out. First of all, debt to income ratio is figured out with the total housing obligation, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, plus whatever debt shows on the credit report. Even if student loans don't show a payment, we have to hit anybody with a payment on a deferred student loan, by the way. It's either 0.5% with FHA or a full percent of the balance with conventional financing. You can call me for more information on that. Or if they can get something from their student loan company that says, hey, your payment is going to be, $71 and we're calculating a $500 payment, great, we'll take it. But we add all the debt that shows up on the credit report, in addition to the student loans, any child support or anything like that, added to the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And what that total is going to be a percentage of the gross monthly income that we come up with. And that's another thing, you know, you have to know how to calculate income. What is the underwriter going to be looking at? Of course, when we're talking about self-employed people, we don't use the gross income. We take their income that they show on their tax return in the net form. So we're going to take their gross minus all their expenses, and we're going to be using the net income for calculating. That's a whole nother story, because we have so many programs to bypass how self-employed people will report a very low net income. So, you know, we can still get them a loan even if they report, you know, a somewhat low net. But anyway, so, you know, if a file looks even marginal to like myself, and I think, well, they have a 49 debt to income ratio, they have over 700 credit score, but bottom line, if I have a file like that, I'm going to run it through our automated approval system, either DU through Fannie Mae or LP, as it's referred to, with Freddie Mac. Because I want to make sure that Fannie or Freddie are going to accept a 49 debt to income ratio. I had one recently that was FHA, and no, I'm sorry, it was VA, and the credit score was below 700. I think it was like 640. We got the debt to income ratio down to 40, and guess what? The DU wouldn't accept it. But I would not have known that if I didn't run the DU prior to even telling this potential buyer, oh, you're pre-approved. Because a 40 debt to income ratio in any other loan, and 2 years ago would have been gold. You can get a loan through with a 40 debt to income ratio any day. But these days, with credit scores below 700, it's a really good idea to run the DU. If the lenders that you're working with are not doing this, you know, as the guidelines tighten up with all the lenders across the board, here and there, up and down, actually, you know, I run DU, even if the file looks really good. It takes just a few minutes to run it through. So knowing the product, knowing the guidelines, and which we do, and I speak for myself, I do as well. But also, when in doubt, you know, I run the DU. Even if I, you know, don't have a doubt, I run that DU. And if DU doesn't accept it, run it through LP. And a lot of times we get an acceptance, even running it through LP. So that's my little piece of information this morning. I hope that you all are, you know, your deals are not falling through, but we really make sure, because, you know, we're all seasoned, that your deal will never fall through escrow.
That's a fact. Thanks for that. Appreciate that, Debbie. Real good insight as usual.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I hope you all have a great week. And, you know, if you need help, just give me a call.
Perfect. And I'll make sure to have your contact information on the replay I send out later.
Okay. All right. Take care.
All right. Take it easy. We'll talk next week.
Okay.
Bye-bye. All right. Thanks to Debbie. Always bringing a little bit of good stuff to us. All right. So now we are going to switch gears. I'm going to share a different screen with you guys. And we're going to get into the Elevate system again. So the Elevate system is proving to be very, very robust. One thing that we have learned is it is fairly easy to use once you get to know it, but there's a few things that I wanted to go over today. So first of all, let's just go into the Elevate dashboard. We'll start there. Okay, so when you log into your dashboard, this is what it looks like. You don't have a recruiting tab, but most of this is probably pretty familiar to all of you that have the Elevate system now. So keeping track of our leads and using this as a CRM is probably one of the most important things that we'll do, because your client list is your business. And so we keep track of all of our leads here. They've got a nice little quick view for you. It'll show your leads, your active clients, your listings, not just the brokerages. And so if we click on clients, I learned a few things yesterday. I did spend some time with Rebecca, and she went over a few things. She's actually going to be joining us next month on the 16th. So she's going to do a real nice in-depth overview of the SMS text feature, which will be very cool. And so this is the list of the clients, and we also have prospective agents in here just for fun. But I want you guys to notice this source column. So when we set up a client, we have the ability to indicate where that client came from. And this is going to be important later, because we're able to communicate with all the people with, from a certain source in one email. So that is very, very important, because most people that come from one source, we're going to have a very similar email that's going to be structured, or an email drip campaign that could be structured to go out to all those people. So source is very important. Tags are also important. So we're going to also want to be making sure that we create a tag for each of our clients and leads. So there are two different in the Elevate system. They have two different things: clients and leads. Leads are different from clients. So a lead, and the way that Rebecca explained it, is leads are people you've never met, and clients are people that you've met. And they're also considered contacts. So those are people in your sphere of influence. Leads are people that or you're just starting to work with. You have not sold a home to them. Those now turn to clients and contacts. So let me just click on this. This is just, I put myself in as a contact. So this is what it looks like. You can move the contact along, new, or now they're engaged, right? Or they're active, pending, sold. So you can kind of move the client along in your CRM this way. You can also, and notice that we are in the activity tab here. We have a profile, notes, tasks, docs, and history as well. So if we go down here, we can also, if we've got some data, they'll show us all the data of what this person has been looking at, what their favorite listings are, and even listings that they viewed once they have been, engaged in the system. So you can email this person directly from here. You can also invite them to, be part of the monthly and weekly communications. So they're going to get updates on all the properties, that are in their, if it's a buyer, all the properties that are in their area, in their price range, all that stuff. So you would, if you have invited them and they didn't respond, you can click this re-invite button. And so again, you can just literally send an email straight from here. You can choose a template. You have all these different templates that I'll show you in a second, and just shoot them a quick email directly from there. You can also click custom email and send it from there. So when we put this client in, we have the ability to collect all their information. We can indicate that they can receive text. Like I said, we'll get into the SMS later training. But down here, client type, this is important, because we can either list them, as a buyer, seller, vendor, family. We can categorize what kind of client, and depending on what kind of client they are, they're going to be receiving a different email drip campaign. Now, this is the next one that's really important. Are they a lead or a contact? Like I said, a lead is somebody that we haven't met. A contact is somebody in the, that we've already met. But notice that if we click contact, we can no longer list the source. which is a little bit strange. So most of the time you're going to want to, most of your people in your CRM, you're going to want to have them as leads, and then you can click on the source where you met that person. So maybe I met this person at an open house, maybe I met him at a client appreciation party. So the source becomes kind of like a tag. Also, we can get their mailing address, birthday, anniversary dates, all those good things. Are they pre-qualified? Are they looking for a single family home? You know, what are they looking for? So you can collect a lot of information. Are they working with another agent, a first-time buyer? So you'll get all that information, save the client, and then that person's been updated. So that leads us to the email drip campaigns. So to get to the email drip campaigns, we go down to the integrations tab right here, and we go to emerge. So emerge is where we can make manipulations to the email campaigns. You can also, create tasks in this area. You can, create emails, social posts, blogs. You can also browse content, and you can post the content that they have. But if we're going to be dealing with the email drip campaigns, we're going to click on this email tab right here. And we're going to go down to auto responders. So you need to kind of equate autoresponders with drip campaigns. So drip campaigns are autoresponders. So click on autoresponders. I know that's not completely intuitive, so that's why it's important to go over this stuff. So these are the email drip campaigns, also known as autoresponders, that the system comes with. So this is the seller 7-day nurture. So here's email 1, email 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can go in and we can change the settings. Who gets this? When do they get this? So you'll notice that this gets immediately sent when a contact is added to a seller 7-day nurture contacts. Who does this apply to? It applies to all contacts. So we can let this go, or we can edit the template. So you can edit every single one of these and make them your very, very own if you like. So I think they all read very well, but some of them are a little bit wordy. Here's a few quick questions to get things rolling. It might be way too many questions. So you might want to, narrow this down. You may want to put in something that is indicative to your style or things that you would say. So you can completely customize these. You can save this as an autoresponder template. You can make sure that it reads exactly the way you want. You can, this is a nice little, what they call WYSIWYG editor. So you can go in and add images. You can add, video. You can do really whatever you want. So very, very cool. You can set these templates up and kind of set it and forget it. So I'll go back to emails, autoresponders. We didn't make any changes. So you'll also notice that you can, and then down here is, these are the rest of the autoresponders that they have. The 7-day nurture, right? The new buyer and seller lead campaign, right? So somebody that, gets added to your new buy sell campaign contacts, that's who's going to get these, the new buy sell lead campaign. And you can, of course, not only can you edit these, you can also change some of the settings. So you can change the title, you can change the subject, you can go in and you can customize a lot of this stuff. So they're very, very dynamic autoresponders. They're really, really, they are very, very effective. And when somebody gets these emails, every single email, if they click on pretty much anything, it's going to go back to your website. And so all the Elevate IDX websites look something like this. And so boom, you're all of a sudden back on the page, back on the website. It always directs you back to the website. And that's the same for all of the social media posts that this indicate, and pretty much everything. It's all geared on sending people back to your website where they can engage, they can see what you've got, they can look at, your website in most cases is a very good resource for things that they're looking for. So those are the, kind of the basics of the autoresponders. Also in email here, you can create an email directly from here. You can also create a new autoresponder. So you can create autoresponders from scratch. You can create each individual email. You can set what time they're going to go out. You can, so you have the freedom to create very, very specific communications. And I know we've got Keith Powers on the line that has a lot of very specific targeting. And so each specific target, they need a very, very specific succession of emails and a very targeted communication. So the more targeted your communications are, the more effective they're going to be. So we've all received spam communications, and it's like, my name's Kevin, obviously, and the email will come in, hey Bob, how's it going? And it's just like, it's that, you're way off. And then even I'll get something where they get the name right, but it's a product or a service that I have no desire in possibly looking at. So, or it's a product that I'm interested in, but it's not the questions that I have. So like if you're a buyer, you don't want stuff about selling, right? So this is all very, very specific communications that should be going automatically to the correct group, right? And so just one little reminder is your connections. And when you have your meeting with Alec Foster, he normally will connect everything for you. But just know that, if you haven't done that, this is where you can come in here and you can connect all of your different social media accounts to your blog. And so that way, when you send your blogs out, they go directly to all of the different social media that they connect with, and everything is seamless. Everything, it goes into one spot. So that is what we wanted to go over today. It's a very, very robust system. So I have been doing a lot of trainings with individual agents, and you can also do trainings directly with Rebecca from Elevate and with of course Alec Foster. And so on the replay, I'm going to make sure that you guys have those contacts again, and you can schedule individual trainings with them, and they can help out with specific things that you have specific questions that you have. So agents, and we have a little reminder here from Don Kearney. Don Kearney says, welcome to Allison, a new broker associate. So Allison, welcome to the team. Glad to have you. Look forward to having you with us, and I'm available for you for all marketing questions, as you may know. So agents, with that, get out there, make it a great week and a productive week, and we will see you all on the webinar next week. Thanks a lot.